Christopher Nolan finds himself in a war with Elon Musk over the casting choices of the Odyssey and the overall woke direction the director seems to have taken to win awards. But who, to our bewildering eyes, should appear to defend Christopher Nolan? Well, never fear, for it's Alec Baldwin. Under all kinds of legal duress yet again for what happened on the set of Rust, Alec Baldwin has decided to challenge Mr. Musk and declare that Lupita is the most beautiful woman on the planet. Hello, Planeteers, and welcome back yet again to another episode of the Pro Show, where we continue to go where Holly Weird fears we'll stay, and that is bringing the truth to them. The mainstream middle, the sensible center where money is made. That's what we advocate for every single day. As we dive in, smash that like button, subscribe, and folks, it's time to cry along with Alec Baldwin over what Elon Musk is trying to do in saving Hollywood. A battle royale is breaking out all across Holly Weird, and this one, folks, well, we thought we knew Weird. They've taken it into their dear hearts and just went crazy. Alec Baldwin, the man who pointed a weapon he thought maybe was fake, not real, don't know, folks, but he pointed it, and the thing fired, and somebody lost their life. Not so long ago, he was under investigation. Alec Baldwin is white knighting, well, for Christopher Nolan, of all people, and the Odyssey, and he's defending Lupita Nyong'o and saying he doesn't like Elon Musk for pointing out that the Odyssey is looking a little bit different than it may have in the past. Nikki Gostin is writing this one out of page 6. Alec Baldwin hits back at Elon Musk for criticizing Lupita Nyong'o's look amid the Odyssey casting. Alec Baldwin hit back at Elon Musk for criticizing Lupita Nyong'o's looks after she was cast to play Helen of Troy in the Odyssey. Dear Elon, said the very well-regarded Mr. Baldwin, but she is the most beautiful woman in the world. Alec, the 30 Rock alum, 68, wrote on Instagram alongside a photo of the actress, which I'm sure his wife loved. Baldwin's remarks came days after conservative commentator Matt Walsh took to X to slam the decision to cast Nyong'o as the demigoddess whose beauty sparked the Trojan War. And it goes on to say, not one person on the planet actually thinks that Lupita Nyong'o is the most beautiful one in the world, Walsh tweeted May 12th, which I would disagree with, by the way. In all fairness, I would disagree with that. I would bet you that I don't know if Lupita is married. I don't know if she has a boyfriend, but I hope that if she has a boyfriend or she's married, that her significant other does indeed think she's the most beautiful woman in the world. So I disagree with Matt Walsh on that. However, it goes on. But Christopher Nolan knows that he would be called a racist if he gave the most beautiful woman role to a white woman. Nolan is technically talented, but a coward, too afraid to do anything that even slightly challenges the spirit of the age. All right, well, Musk then got in and said true. When someone asked why is Christopher Nolan, like so many other directors, so keen to race swap white characters, he said he wants the awards. This is now switching from Matt Walsh to Elon Musk. Musk added that Nolan has lost his integrity by casting the Oscar-winning actress 43 in the role. And I'm going to be, should I say something that's also going to offend?
Yeah. I think that's the best course of action on YouTube.
Absolutely.
They're being very cool these days.
Take.
Here's the other hot take, okay? And listen, Pro is not in his 20s, okay? So everybody just hang tight. For both men and women, when we're casting these kinds of characters, and when we're talking about the most beautiful woman in the world and Helen of Troy and the warriors who are likely in their 20s, if we're going off of the historicity of the tale, I know it's a mythos, but still, it's based on something that has a historicity to it. I don't think casting someone who's 43 as Helen of Troy also. Maybe I'm an ageist. Maybe I'm Ross. No, I'm definitely not that. But whatever, folks, I can see the point of some of this, but what I can't see is Alec Baldwin being the right guy to step in and defend. I think it fails in ways that it would not fail if it were brought by somebody else. Tabitha, Caro, please save the day for me right now, because I don't want to step into the fire. I've seen what Alec Baldwin can do intentionally or unintentionally. So save me, please. What do you think about the idea that Alec Baldwin is the guy to step in and defend?
Oh, well, I mean, like you said, I think he's married, right? So I'd be a little offended if my husband went on public announcement to say that some other woman was more beautiful than I was. That's already not a good place to start.
Isn't that strange?
That would be a fun dinner conversation. Could you imagine? That's like, honey, I saw your tweet today and I thought we could discuss this.
Yeah. Let's talk about it. Like, let's just talk about it. What did you really mean?
That she's the most beautiful woman. Yeah.
I think it's just another attempt at free marketing, at trying to get people to talk about this movie. I wrote about it. I think it's on that Park Place about how this really feels more like a PR move to get reactions from us. Because, I mean, let's be honest. I think we've all seen enough Homer Odyssey remakes that we're kind of like, oh, it's another one, right? And so at this point, they're just trying to make controversy for the sake of making us talk about it and pay more attention to it than it probably would have without it. Look at this gem.
Right. And Paige, we're just going to say Paige here. Paige is allegedly cast as Achilles. I've heard some thoughts out there that maybe that won't be true when the movie comes out. I don't know. But Paige maybe is 5'2" and 100 pounds soaking wet. So, I mean, this is the kind of stuff where people are just wondering, like, Christopher Nolan, what are you up to exactly? Are you just chasing awards? But Christopher Nolan has been, and I know not everybody agrees with me, but a respected director who's had great success in the past. Not everybody loves the stuff that Christopher Nolan does, but I mean, Oppenheimer was a huge hit. And this just seems like we're going back 5 years into the woke era and throwing everything at the wall that came from that. And I just, it was like when I saw Alec Baldwin is now the one defending it, I said, well, it's just another day that ends with Y. It was the other day that they were saying, hey, the same folks who hated Snow White and Rachel Zegler are the same folks behind this one. I said, that's a great defense strategy.
I think it always goes back to something a little deeper than just Hollywood and entertainment, because Alec Baldwin is notorious for being very outspoken in his political beliefs. And so anytime you can make a bold statement that casts a shadow on one political party, and it's also just like a driving point, it's a talking point, it's something to make you look good, feel good, get attention on yourself, free marketing and things like that. But to come out and say it and tell people that they're racist for this, and the third, when you're completely minimizing the historical inaccuracy, the geographical inaccuracies, and then just making it about, racism and all this kind of stuff. That's just something that comes to mind when I think about the fact that Alec Baldwin, of all people, is coming out. As far as I know, he has nothing to do with this film, so why is this important to him? But he seems to be the type of person consistently where if I can drive a wedge for my political beliefs anywhere, I'm going to. Because I think that there is an undercurrent of always looking for the opportunity. And I know this is meant to be for entertainment and not for political views, but unfortunately that has collided long time ago. I think he is always looking for an area to undermine the current presidential people in place, anywhere he can, because his world is entertainment, but his heart and his passion and his anger and aggression is always to stir up trouble and conflict. I think that is part of the narrative as well, is that a lot of these people, they do it for, free marketing, but there is some kind of, they call it, like the mind virus, where there's just something that tells them wherever I can drive a wedge to cast a shadow on something that's completely unrelated, I will.
Yeah, and I totally agree with you. I pulled this up as you were speaking. On that Park Place back in March, we observed that Alec Baldwin on a regular basis at MegaCon had a very small number of people actually lined up to see him, with sometimes triple the line over to his side for John Carpenter, and voice actors sometimes quadrupling, septupling him. And, when he goes to a con and has that kind of experience, maybe that's what jostles him into saying, well, what can I do to get back into the media spotlight? And then also, I'm not ignorant of the fact that Baldwin is having some other stuff going on. So maybe he wants to virtue signal right now to gain sympathy from a certain political crowd. Marvin Montanaro on thatparkplace.com writing this, and on April 17th, Alec Baldwin's shooting case heads back to court as civil trial moves forward. So the civil trial continues. Even if he got off the hook and didn't go to jail behind bars, he's now facing, the OJ situation where now he's got the civil and the monetary situation. So maybe he needs to be back into the spotlight. Culture, what are your thoughts on it?
I think that he picked probably a terrible entry point to do that, but I think it's for the very reasons that Tabitha described. I think, we're pointing out inaccurately so that Elliot Page probably doesn't need to be in this film for any reason. I mean, that was the beginning of this subject matter. And look, whether or not Elliot Page is playing Achilles or Elpenor, which is actually the character I believe that Elliot Page was cast.
Who are we getting as the actual Achilles? Do you know?
No, I don't. But like you said, there's been enough pushback that Elpenor seems like a more logical character. But
hang on, Culture. Let's just think about this. What if the Odyssey, instead of being on defense nonstop over this stuff, what if they had cool casting choices? What if we were hearing that like Brad Pitt was going to play Achilles right now? And think about the way that would change the conversation versus where we are right now.
We had that. It was the film was called Troy, I believe. And
yeah, he kind of at the end too. So.
Yeah. And I just look. All I have to say is, had this film been cast properly and we were going to get a proper hero's journey, which some people could argue that this piece of Greek mythology was actually the origin for, the true, hero-driven story.
Western storytelling.
Yeah. So of course they want to undermine it. That's all they do. So how do you support undermining Western storytelling? You use some tool bag and again, I'm using that word a lot because it keeps me from saying bad words. But like Alec Baldwin, who is known to be a hothead and somebody that's incapable of controlling himself. And he would use bad words, at least I refrain. But I'll just say it this way: the only way that you can get notoriety in Hollywood these days, according to what your PR people tell you, is to take advantage of the attention economy. And the only way to do that is with the message service that people like Alec Baldwin pursue. It's how they remain relevant in an area that's even as we speak is becoming more and more irrelevant as independent talent, independent stories, and independent creators are out there replacing it. So it's not that Western storytelling is disappearing, because it certainly isn't. We just are going to have different storytellers. We're going to have different people that bring, this forward. And I think, Marvin wrote a great article here that everybody should go and read over on that Park Place.
Absolutely. Jonas, what's the way to get this thing back on track, if there is any way at all? It's clearly not Alec Baldwin. What should Christopher Nolan be doing to lower the tide? Because he is facing, really bad situations in terms of, I think the trailer is his lowest performing time. I mean, what does he do to fix this?
I think you should release a good movie. That's really going to be the only solution to all of this. There was all this stuff about Ghostbusters 2016 back before it came out, and that came out, and it wasn't a good movie, and everyone was proven correct on that one. It's not a good movie. It was heavy on improvisation that was probably funny on set and not on screen. With this one, if Christopher Nolan shows up with a crowd-pleasing film that everyone likes, no one's going to care if Travis Scott is in it, or if Lupita Nyong'o is playing Margaret Thatcher, for all I care. If it is an entertaining movie, then no one will care. Yeah. But the problem is, and to Nolan's credit, he has stayed out of this discourse. Seeing Tom Holland, Robert Pattinson, there were rumors at some point of Hunter Schafer, Elliot Page in this. This reads in a trendier direction than Nolan usually goes. Usually he goes for the quirky actors that are going for deeper performances, not Spider-Man, So, and is Zendaya in this film? I forget if that ever actually ended up coming out.
She's Athena.
Okay.
She's in every film. What are you talking about?
This reads in a way that he's going for the popcorn, and I don't think anyone really, I think the people who go to Christopher Nolan films like to think they're above popcorn in some way, Sales
they bring
cures
Jimmy
all.
John's with them.
Well, the problem with Jimmy John's is it's very crinkly in the back of the theater, as was Taco Bell when they were in the plastic grocery bags.
Well, you did get a crunch wrap.
It's also too oily. The Jimmy John's is one of the oiliest, grossest sandwiches. It's a soggy mess. Why would you?
Well, we lost that sponsorship.
That's why you go to Jersey Mike's.
I'm just saying, that's never stopped the people I know from smuggling in Jersey Mike's in the theater.
Yeah. Is this
Mike's
common?
Is a good choice.
I did not know. This is everybody's been smuggling in Jersey Mike's, and I didn't know.
No, nobody's doing that.
Yeah, my theater that didn't care, like I could bring in like food for everybody. They shut down. So
now all of those foot-long growths underneath people's shirts as they go in the theater make a lot more sense to me. I was completely confused as to how that was working.
Exactly.
All right, well, it's not working out for Christopher Nolan and the Odyssey, folks, and Alec Baldwin not helping. We'll see. What is the play from Elon Musk, and does he go away for those in Hollywood? They must be hoping he'll do so. You know, we must bid adieu for now, but folks, I encourage you, if you enjoyed this kind of video, well, we have plenty more and more on the way every single day. We do it for you. Check out the WDW Pro Channel and go click on videos. You can see the most recent ones and enjoy all the stuff we're talking about, and hopefully give us some feedback, because we would love to cater what we're doing for you. You are the consumer. You are our valued guest. It's how entertainment companies once upon a time treated the people who bought their stuff, and we're still doing it here. Folks, on the way out the door, consider clicking the like button, share, subscribe, click it, stick it to the algorithms. It is the notification bell. Drop a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts. And folks, as we get ready to say goodbye, we always say this because we think you indeed are special and matter. Wherever you are and whatever you're doing, keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.